Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Krishna Prapti Hoya Yahate. Chakudan Hiroye Janme Janme Prabhu say. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gora Haribal, 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 Jai Gora Haribal. Jai Gora Haribal, 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 Gora Haribal.
Hare Krishna. So on behalf of Melbourne Temple, we'd like to welcome everybody here tonight for a fantastic night. Welcome to all our Melbourne devotees, all our friends and well-wishers. Thank you very much for coming. This is going to be a spectacular night. We hope you all enjoy yourselves. It's a very important night. We have a very special guest with us tonight. His Grace Sureshwara Prabhu is going to be giving a small talk about food for life in a minute. We also have, in a minute, our temple president will be coming. His Grace Aniruddha Prabhu, and he will also be addressing the crowd as well. And his good wife, Her Grace Achincha Rupa Mataji, who is responsible for the wonderful setup that you have here today, the beautiful decorations and everything. So this is a wonderful occasion. I just wanted to make a personal note how fortunate we are to actually have this beautiful temple here in Melbourne, the Hare Krishna Melbourne Mandir. It's a spiritual haven for so many of us, for so many years. And it will be a haven also for our children and our children's children. This is actually probably Melbourne Temple, the Melbourne Hare Krishna Temple is probably the most important spiritual centre within Melbourne. Because here what is happening is the worship for their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Ballabha, Sri Sri Gauri Nitai, Jagannathji Baladev Subhadra is going on so diligently, so perfectly for the last 40 years. And the result of that is we have a beautiful congregation, a congregation that's growing week by week through our Bhakti Vriksha group members and the different programs that this temple holds. So the importance of this temple is of the utmost importance, not only for our own spiritual benefit, but also for the spiritual benefit of our children and our children's children. So it's up to us now. This is a night where you have an opportunity to actually make sure that this temple flourishes for many more years to come. It is these initial years now that we need to set up things and get things finalized that is so important for our future. In particular, I want to mention that we are very much looking forward that Sri Sri Radha Ballabha have their own kitchen facility. At the present stage, as you all know, the kitchen facility for them is in the larger kitchen area, but we now want to have that they have their own kitchen facility so we can offer sumptuous bhoga to them from their own kitchen. So this is part of that. The other point that I wanted to make, and this will be further elaborated by Aniruddha Prabhu, that we want to expand and have a new Crossways facility. So again, this takes money to set up, and so this is your opportunity to be part of that. You can say in years to come, when you're 80 or 90 and you see Melbourne Temple flourishing so much and so many more devotees are coming, that you were instrumental in actually helping push that movement ahead. So we really look forward to your help in that. Some of the developments Aniruddha will be mentioning is how the kitchen has developed over the years and what we've currently done. It is now my pleasure to announce, Prabhu has told me that the three-phase power is finally on at the temple. So this is a wonderful thing. For your donations, I want to make it clear that all your donations can be tax deductible. So if you make a donation, it can be tax deductible. So why give money to the government if you can give money to Krishna? So please keep that in mind. The target, again, which Aniruddha will mention, is a target that we want to attain for both the development of the Deity kitchen and the target we want to attain for development of crossways, the new crossways, and the target that we want to attain for further developments and paying off the loan. So the major target that we're aiming for tonight is $1 million. The other thing that I want to mention is that tonight's meal is a sumptuous feast that's been prepared by the devotees of Krishna at our new kitchen temple, and at the temple at the kitchen. And we're looking forward to a really delicious meal that all of you can partake in. Apparently it has a Chinese theme about it this year. So again, enjoy yourselves. We'll have some entertainment, some light entertainment as well. We wish you all the best. We look forward to your contribution, and I would like to now invite Sareshwara Prabhu to come up and say a few words about Food for Life and how our movement is helping in spreading Krishna consciousness through prasadam distribution through the Food for Life program. Can everybody make Sareshwara Prabhu a warm welcome? Through that way, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Yes, the Food for Life. So dig into those snacks. This is Food for Life in action right here for you. It's really an honor for me to be here as a guest at ISKCON Melbourne, because as far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of any other temple outside of India that's feeding people sumptuous Krishna prasadam 3 times a day. I mean, actually 8 times a day if you count all the other little offerings, but 3 full meals, come one, come all, 3. I've never seen that. Is this normal for Australia? It is? It's normal for Melbourne. Well, give yourselves a hand. Woo! And personally, I'm experiencing this because they feed me 3 times a day. Heavenly porridge in the morning, heavenly fruit, heavenly khichdi, heavenly avocado salad, heavenly, what else, chapatis, heavenly sweet balls, and for the evening, heavenly banana bread, spread with heavenly vegan butter, and heavenly hot milk for protected cows, ki jai. So, thank you. So Australia in general, and Melbourne in particular, are great examples of what happens when devotees enthusiastically follow Srila Prabhupada's compassionate instructions. In Australia's case, to flood the place with Krishna prasadam through Food for Life, through catering, through restaurants, through feeding from the temple, to give the public a higher taste with blessed food. The saying goes, the key to a man's heart is through his stomach, but Prabhupada went that one better. The key to humanity's spirit is through food offered to God, starting with our own ISKCON devotees. I happen to be present in Miami, Florida, ISKCON, back in 1975 AD. I'm not that old. In fact, I was present at ISKCON Miami when Prabhupada told us flat out that we had all come because of prasadam. Here's the story. Prabhupada was lecturing on the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know how the subject got to prasadam, but all roads lead to prasadam, right? So Prabhupada said, he told us, he said, you have all come because of prasadam. And then he turned to his left and he looked at the temple president who was fanning him. The temple president was a devotee named Abhiram Prabhu, my godbrother. Those of you who may know Abhiram, he's a very cool customer. As they say in gambling, he holds his cards close to his chest. He doesn't easily reveal his mind. He was the president of the temple. So Prabhupada looked at Abhiram, who was fanning him, and said, you too, Abhiram? You also came because of prasad? And Abhiram just went right out of character. He became very sheepish. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, me too. And when Prabhupada said that, me too, or when Abhiram said that, me too, Prabhupada just wheeled his head around the audience and said, Jai, like the sun rising. And we were all like, us too, us too. In fact, I personally came because of prasadam, because like Apple's Steve Jobs, I was a hungry young man. Steve Jobs used to tell when he was with us that he was going to Reed College in Portland, and he was a starving student. It's a big deal in America. The students often are homeless, they don't get enough to eat, they're hungry, they can't afford to pay their tuition. So Steve Jobs said he used to hike many miles to the Krishna temple just to get a decent meal. And he would pack it. He would save it for the week and nibble at it during the week. And then finally at the end of the week, he would go back for another big meal. Well, it was a little different with me. I was a college dropout because I was searching for the absolute truth, and you don't find it in university. Especially in the 1960s, we were all protesting all the time. So I was an expatriate. I left America for Canada. And what did I find in Toronto, Canada? I found 10,000 fellow Americans protesting. And we were hungry because there was no work. There was a big recession on all over North America. So a person that I was rooming with said, oh, I know where we can get something to eat today. It's Sunday. The Krishnas have a Sunday feast, a free feast. So that was my first contact. And everything was deja vu. I knew everything I was experiencing, especially the chanting and especially prasadam. So when it came time for the feast, I was sitting next to a big jug of sweet rice. And they were serving it out, and I was reading a book called Easy Journey to Other Planets with my right hand, and then with my left hand, I was staying high forever on sweet rice. And that's basically how I joined. I was also a prasadam devotee. So I encourage all of you to continue to support the Melbourne Temple's magnificent prasadam program. And I'm personally tasting this. It's magnificent. To donate generously to the new Deity Kitchen project, because Srila Prabhupada will be more pleased. Sri Sri Radha Vallabha will shower their mercy on us, and more hungry souls like me will continue to take shelter at their lotus feet. And now I'd like to introduce an old friend and colleague of mine from ISKCON Education, who happens to be the temple president in Melbourne. I mean, he's been the temple president for 30 years now. I don't know if anybody's ever been a temple president that long, because when you were the temple president, it's like having a target on your back, right? You become the target of everybody's pet peeves and criticisms. But Aniruddha Prabhu has stood the test of time, and he must be doing something right, huh? So I think he just walked in. Where are you, Aniruddha Prabhu? Right here? Okay. So without further ado, His Grace, Melbourne's own Aniruddha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for coming. Oma Jnana Timirandasya Gnanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Dena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Tadati Svapradantikam Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Gurim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam. You may have noticed that I am only a fraction of what I used to be. And it's funny because I was quite healthy until 2 hours after I left Delhi, or before I left Delhi on Tuesday night. But it's amazing what a little bug can do. So I think I've lost about 5 kilograms in the last 3 days. But anyway, I'm here. Not as vigorous as I thought I would be, but happy to be here nevertheless. As you know, our house is Krishna's house, and Krishna's looking after all of us, would you believe? And one of the ways he looks after us is he feeds us sumptuously, as Prabhupada says here. Krishna always looks after everyone. He's our Father. And Prabhupada wanted us to extend that generosity and that sense of protection, if you like, to everybody. He himself, he said, let every hungry man of Melbourne come and eat. So we have a famous Food for Life program in Melbourne, which is basically driven by our kitchen. And of course, it's not just the hungry of Melbourne, but you and I who benefit from this wonderful service that's provided ultimately by Krishna, of course, through the agency of the devotees, the cooks. We had a meeting with the cooks on the weekend before I went to India, introducing our new cook, Nanda. And I realised on that occasion that all of the solutions to our kitchen problems, kitchen management problems, prasadam distribution management problems, are actually in the hands of all of the cooks. We have some really amazing people who have dedicated their lives to distributing prasadam distribution in Melbourne. So we have a wonderful team of devotees who are constantly providing prasadam for all of us. Let's think back to the old kitchen. Cast your minds back to you've probably forgotten it already and forgotten how bad it really was. We had terribly outdated equipment. It was old and difficult to handle. We wasted energy in that kitchen. We couldn't expand our services, and you may have forgotten this, but the council was actually going to close the kitchen. It was that serious. Do you remember the old containers that used to sit in the backyard? Who can remember? Hands up those who can remember the old containers. And, you know, they were filthy, amongst other things. We had to have them there because the old pot... Now, who remembers the old pot shed before that? Okay. Okay. No, that was really terrible. Now, we couldn't upgrade that because the level, it needed a grease trap. and the level of the floor in that part of the premises was below where we needed to run the drainage and so forth. So it was going to be a hugely expensive operation, and the council said, if you don't fix this, then we're going to close you. So that obviously was going to have disastrous consequences. And so we told them, no, we've got a big kitchen coming. We've got big plans. So they said, fine. And of course, this is what we promised. Although even at the time it was somewhat of it seemed to be very ambitious. But they said, yep, okay, no worries. You do, if that's your plan, then we'll allow you to put you'll have to put these temporary containers with a temporary pot shed in to manage all of the cleaning. So, this is what we promised, and of course, this is what we got, which wasn't bad, right? This was like hallelujah or hurry, hurry, bol. This is amazing. My friends all over the world were impressed with the quality of the kitchen that we had, a commercial kitchen in ISKCON. So now what can we do? We can now increase our output to at least 10,000 meals per week, which is double the current output. When I don't know if any of you were here when we did the first fundraising, but we promised, or we calculated that we can actually increase to 21,000 meals with the current output, or not with the current output, with the current equipment that we've got. Of course, we can't do it now because we're also cooking Deity offerings and doing everything in the current kitchen. So, but we can increase, and of course one of our purposes for building the new kitchen is to increase our crossways in Melbourne. So we can do that. We can start doing that now. Here's another view of the area where we're currently doing the Deity offerings. We've got savings in efficiency, savings in electricity, gas, time. The new electricity connection has finally been connected to the temple, which has taken us, how many years? Nearly 3 years to get the electricity connected. We're now saving an hour a day in washing dishes because we've got the new dishwasher in place. And that's saving the pot shed wallers an hour a day in time spent washing pots, which means they can now go and do another hour in cleaning other parts of the kitchen, which is a benefit for us. So we're saving time, saving effort, and we can save wages, although the pot washers don't like their wages trimmed, unfortunately. Here's the new cut-up area, which I'm sure some of you are already familiar with. We've now got a safer work environment, all of these stainless steel equipment to safely keep our dry goods. There's the cut-up area behind the stoves on the left-hand side as you walk in. We've got better quality prasadam. We've got a cake and sweet preparation area, which is now being used for Deity preps. So, a summary of what we've done thus far. We've received 1,550,678 dollars worth of donations, and I'd like to thank all of you who've contributed to the project thus far. It's been a major effort on the part of the Melbourne community to support this project, and at significant effort, I might suggest, for some devotees who've given very, very generously. So on behalf of Radha Ballabha and Srila Prabhupada, I'd like to thank everybody who's given so much support to this project. We also received $500,000 from the state government, and we also initially, in order to secure the government grant, we had to take out a bank loan to match what the government was giving. So that gave us a total income of just over $2.5 million. So, what happened to all the money? You may well ask. So here's our expenses. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly because this is quite a list. I don't want to bore you with this, but what we'll do is we'll send the details of this report to everybody who's on our mailing list next week, so you can go over it if you want to. Architectural fees, $58,000. Building construction, $1,076,000 for fundraising, consultation, other consultation fees, nearly $4,000. The electrical connection. The previous electrical connection that we had wasn't going to be able to manage the throughput that was needed to run the new kitchen. And this took a long time to get together. And eventually it came in through Boyd Street. There's a transformer in Boyd Street. They dug a trench all the way down Little Page Street to our back gate, and that's where the current electrical connection comes in. So a significant expense for us. Engineering, $9,000. The fit out, all of that equipment, not cheap, $800,000. Fundraising expenses, $19,000. Loan repayments, interest on the loan, nearly $50,000. Town planning, nearly $8,000. Printing, $3,000. Solar installation, $29,000. Now, we now actually have in order to boost the power, we've got a very nicely installed solar power generating system. So that's it by itself, I think, was enough to run the temple. That power system is enough to actually run the temple, but not the kitchen. Not the kitchen. So that's offsetting some of the expenses of our electricity as we go forward. Sundry costs, $150,000, surveying, $15,000. So that gives us a total expense of $2.2 million. Actually, 2.3. And then we've made principal payments on our bank loan. So that's a total allocation of the funds raised. We've spent $2.5 million, which is a bit under the amount that we've collected. So what we've collected thus far, we have spent. So, what's missing? What are we missing in what we described initially as the first phase of our project? Well, the first thing is Radha Ballabha's kitchen. In the scheme of things, our original plans, or our plans, have a separate kitchen for the deities. You know, the kitchen is really an extension of the deity room. And so it is a place of sanctity, of privacy, of meditative, devotional service. Of course, so should the other kitchen, but especially the deity kitchen should be a special place where cooks can prepare offerings that'll be offered to the deities, and without disturbance and without prying eyes. You know, we were talking about Sri Gora the other day, our dear friend Sri Gora, who passed away 2 or 3 weeks ago in Colombo. And Sri Gora had a trick of engaging those who might turn up at the kitchen and just stroll around and have a look and see what was being cooked. And so he would usually point them in the direction of the bin and say, "Here, empty this." So they'd go off and empty the bin, and that would be the last thing he saw of them. But Sri Gora had a keen understanding of how the kitchen's not a place where you turn up and have a glance at what Krishna is going to be eating, or have a glance and have a look and see what you might be eating later. So the idea is we have a special location just for cooking what will eventually be the Mahaprasadam. So that's what's missing. We're also missing the dishwashing facilities for the stainless steel plates. We've identified that we could save between $40,000 and $50,000 a year by reducing the amount of disposables that we purchase and the amount of wastage that we ship out every couple of days in the dump master. And so by installing stainless steel plates, it means that we'll all be able to, on smaller festivals, we'll all be able to use stainless steel plates. Guests will be able to use stainless steel plates. We'll have a plate storage area and a dishwash facility so that we can reduce our waste. And that's a significant saving. So that's also missing. In the plan is a guest kitchen, so that when sannyasis, gurus, other dignitaries are visiting, or even if you're a family, a mother, and you need your child's milk bottle warmed up, we'll be able to do it. So we're also having a guest kitchen that will provide some facility for those who need to cater for others. And we'll finish some of the obvious things that need to be completed. There's the paving and the plumbing around the gazebo and the Tulsi house that needs to be completed. There's a new security gate at the rear car park, new pavement for the car park, and completing the corridor between the new and existing building. And not only that, there's the garden. The garden also needs to be fixed up on the side of the pathway where the new deity kitchen is going to be. That will be remodelled, and it will actually be an entrance into the what will be the deity kitchen. And security cameras. So we'll finally have evidence of all those who are stealing the Mahaprasadam. Although we know who you are anyway, so we don't actually need that. Okay, so how much is all of this going to cost us? This is what everybody wants to know. or doesn't want to know, not sure which. This is stage 1 of the remaining works, and I'll explain what stage 2 and stage 3 are and what some of our challenges are going forward. The building works is $300,000. The fit out for the new Deity kitchen is $65,000. The car park, and this is just an estimate, is about $60,000. The rear gate, an estimate, $15,000. This is an automatic gate. You may need a key, one of those devices that you press the button and it opens, so that it's an automatic gate. And security cameras, $5,000. Okay. So that gives us a subtotal of $451,000. Projects always have this seemingly infinite ability to expand from what they're originally conceived as. So contingency of 10% is generally added in a building project. So that's another $45,000. So that takes us up to around about $500,000. We have some money in the bank from our previous collections of $47,000. So that brings us back down again to around about $450,000. Now, there is more. So if you're wondering, stage 1 in our grand project of the Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir is establishment of the new main kitchen, which is what we've already done. The new Deity kitchen, which I just described. The community plate washing room. Finishing off the gazebo and the book storeroom. That was stage 1 of our big project. Stage 2 is moving the Prasadam hall downstairs into what is now the theatre. Right? So what that means is we'll have our Prasadam I don't know why we chose the Prasadam hall to be where it is now. Why did we do that? Because when you think about it, to lug all those buckets of Prasadam across the courtyard, up the stairs, and then having to bring everything down again, I don't know. Anyway, that was a decision we made. But when you think about it, when we engaged Greg Dixon, our project manager, to analyse or to take over the project, one of the first things he did was analyse the flow. He came on a weekend and he just watched what we did in the temple. And that was the first thing he suggested. He said, you need to move the Prasadam distribution downstairs so that it's next to the kitchen. It's easy to bring the Prasadam in. It's easy to take the buckets and other containers out. And of course that puts us then close to where we're going to have the plate store area, where we'll keep the stainless steel plates and the dishwasher for those. So it makes sense for us to bring the Prasadam distribution back down where it used to be. When I joined in 1978, the theatre was the Prasadam room. And so that's estimated at about $300,000. And then what will really be the pinnacle of any achievement that I'd like to see met in ISKCON Melbourne is developing the current Prasadam hall into a theatre, but what will be used most often is turning it into a room that can accommodate performance with a stage, with a removable stage and so forth, but also as classrooms, so that we've got 2 classrooms with a divider. You know, if you walk into the prasadam room and you see over on the wall next to Dank Street, there's a cupboard. And we keep plates, or we used to keep plates in there. That cupboard was actually where the divider for the room, that used to be 2 classrooms, was originally, right? This is how school rooms were often designed. So you could have a bigger room and then 2 smaller rooms. And you know yourself, we all know how active and how much of education goes on in ISKCON Melbourne. It's just amazing how much, how many classes are going for the adults, for the kids. You know, there's 3 or 4 Bhakti Vaibhav sessions going at the moment. We've got 120 Bhakti Shastri enrolments to start next year. And it goes on. When I left to go to India, after I taught the disciple course, I was still in the room and I saw Prana teaching, a dozen kids, is it? A dozen kids? And what do we ask them? Kim? Mamata Nama Kim. Yeah, what's your name? And they're all replying, Mama Nama Aniruddha. And I thought, wow, this is far out. You know, how many communities in ISKCON are teaching their kids spoken Sanskrit, right? And so education really is one of the, not just prasadam distribution, but education is one of the strengths of our community. Even the kids coming in, the teenage boys coming and chanting japa with us in the mornings with their parents and their peers. You know, if we can keep our children chanting Hare Krishna with us, this is such a major achievement and the sign of a strong community. So education really is critical for our success. The first purpose of ISKCON, really, if you look at Prabhupada's purposes. So stage 3, and you know, one of the problems with education is it's usually expensive, right? But the response to that, well, if you don't like the expense of education, try ignorance. See how you go. So this is going to be, again, another $1 million project. And with that, we're also planning to raise the roof of the paraphernalia room by 1.5 meters so that we can put in a mezzanine floor there and shift the shop down into the ground floor of what's now the paraphernalia room, and put the paraphernalia room up on a mezzanine. You know, when you walk up the stairs to the prasadam hall and there's the landing, you would then enter into the new paraphernalia room. So that's ambitious, I know, but that's stage 3. And then on top of that, Krishna consciousness is always full of challenges. And our current challenge is establishing a new crossways. As you may or may not know, our lease ran out on good old crossways. And realistically, we couldn't have stayed there anyway. The landlord wants to put in a lift. So we've had to shift, and now we're looking for a new crossway. So that's another couple of $100,000 that we're probably going to have to spend. So, there's kind of where we sit or where we stand now in our plans and what we intend to do for the Food for Life kitchen. So I'd like to thank you for coming, thank you for your support so far, and thank you for your support now and into the future. And thanks for making ISKCON Melbourne such a wonderful community. If it wasn't for you, then we wouldn't be as far ahead as we are now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Could I have another round of applause for Aniruddha Prabhu? As Sureshwara Prabhu was mentioning, he's been the temple president for a long, long time, and it's only by having a dedicated, spiritually minded, real devotee that the success of Melbourne Temple has been so prolific and so great. So again, it's due to his management and his Krishna consciousness that we're able to push on. So now the fun begins, ladies and gentlemen. This is your time of the night, okay? Look at this as also a fun night. It's something that's a challenge to us. It's a challenge for all of us. And so we're going to start. We've got people with microphones in the hall, and they're going to be going to anybody that wants to make a bid or a donation to this target that we're setting here tonight. So I can see now that the hall is filling up. Again, those people that have just come, we welcome you. We appreciate you coming. And again, as I say, let the fun begin. All right. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Excuse me. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, let's go. Are we ready over this side? Are we ready with the ladies and gentlemen with the microphones?
Hare Krishna.
Guru Vandana, are we ready to go?
Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna,
yes,
everybody?
we are.
Okay. Yeah? Okay. So, who wants to start the ball rolling with a donation? Can I ask for somebody? Whoa! There's a gentleman here, one of our oldest members, a wonderful devotee, a personal friend, Mahatma Prabhu. How much would you like to donate? How much? Here we go. $1,008 from Mahaprabhu. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So we've got the first one up on the board there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, who's next? Oh, hello, my friend, Shyam Ballabha Prabhu.
Where is Shambhala?
5,000 from Shyam Ballabha Prabhu.
Wow,
Well done.
5,000 from Shyam Balava and Madhvi Priya.
And Madhavi Priya, obviously. Jai.
Hare Krishna, Madhavi.
Wonderful team, wonderful devotees from Melbourne. Haribol Prabhu, thank you very
We
much.
have one here, Prabhu.
Where are you? Haribol, yes.
Kamani, and I'll donate $500.
Thank you very much. Jai, Hare Krishna. Okay, keep them coming.
Table 20, Kaushalya Anand Prabhu. Kaushalya Anand,
Yeah.
$10,000.
Haribol, how much?
10,000.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Venkateswara Rao, 116.
Jai, thank you very much. Oh, that's auspicious. Now we're at $108,000. Jamuna Sundari, say a few words.
Hare Krishna, everyone. This is Yamuna Sundari Devidasi. I feel very fortunate to say a few words about the Melbourne Temple. The Melbourne Temple, I think, is one of the most vibrant temples of ISKCON all over the world, and I think we are very fortunate that we have this opportunity to serve in this temple. There are endless ways that in which we can all contribute for the development of this temple under the guidance of Aniruddha Prabhu, Achindra Mataji, and all the senior devotees here. So I think let's together make the most of this opportunity and give back in our own way, in whichever way we can, so that more and more people can be benefited by this wonderful, glorious movement. So taking the pledge forward, Sudhir Govinda Prabhu, I think $1,000 you would like to contribute.
Haribo. Thank you, Prabhu.
And also another member from our Bhakti Vriksha, Pradyumna Prabhu, would like to give $116.
Haribo. Yep.
Shrikant Prakash. Shrikant Prakash. 500.
Haribo, thank you. We're getting there.
Yes, table number 13.
181,000. Who's next? Only $18,000 left to get to the $200,000 mark. Yes, Jai Sachi, speak.
Haribo! Radhe Radhe! Come! Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
This is a special month. It's a month of Kartik. A month belongs to Radharani. By Radharani's mercy, we have got a nice kitchen for the devotees. It is time to build a kitchen for her. So please, give whatever you can. Krishna has given you a quota. It's time to take a little bit out of that and give it back to Krishna. The kitchen will give a lot of opportunities for everybody. One thing we are doing at the moment is that we are cooking a lot of prasadam at Rajbhog and times, things like that. And the prasadam is more cooked for the devotees than for Krishna. This is not pure devotional service. We are cooking for other people. When you cook for Krishna, that's pure devotional service. This kitchen will enable us to do that. So we can actually cook specifically for Krishna. And the other thing is that we have got a lot of Matachis who are very nice cooks, but they are not able to cook in large quantities. By having a kitchen, then all these Matajis can also come and cook. This kitchen is not for us. It is for our next generation as well. Your mothers, your wives, your daughters, your granddaughters, your daughter-in-laws will all have an opportunity to cook in there, and so will we be. All we need is, if everybody can give $2,000 each year, we'll build this kitchen. That's all we need, just $2,000. I can guarantee you, the amount of prasadam we're going to save you in the next 2 years, it'll cost you more if you go and eat in a restaurant. So for the next 2 years, make a payment beforehand, and we're going to save you for the rest of your life. Next 2 years, you pay for it. After that, it's the interest you get. So please give. Today is very special day. This is Kartik. Kartik is the month for Radharani. And whatever we give today magnifies by thousands of times. Devotional service is also already great, but this time whatever you give, it magnifies by thousands of times. So if you want to give $2 million, get the benefit for getting $2 million by just giving $2,000, this is the time. And this is special time. This is for Radha Vallabha, so we can have a nice kitchen for them, so we can cook nicely for them, and then we can have nice prasadam for everybody. So think again, please. Give a little bit more. Dig deep. Krishna has given you his share. Now you give a little bit back to them. Remember, you did not come with anything. You're not going to go with anything. Whatever you have will be finished. The choice is yours. How do you use it? You can use it for yourself. You can use it for individual people. You can use it for your relatives. You can use it for children. Or today, you can use it for Radha Vallabha. You can use it for Gaurnitai. You can use it for Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Just a little bit. Dig deep. And I can guarantee you, you're going to get million times more than what you're going to give. Hare Krishna.
Jai Sachi Prabhu.
Jai Sachi
Okay,
Prabhu's
Guru
magic is
Vandana, you got
working.
someone?
The magic is working. I've got an anonymous donor, $10,000.
Haribo!
And this is on behalf of his spiritual master, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj.
Haribol, thank you. So we've cracked it. $200,000 we've got.
Jai.
And we're not done yet. Anybody else for a last minute dash?
Yes,
Anshul,
$131, RK Vats, VATS.
Again, on behalf of Melbourne Temple, we thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. God bless you all. We're going to be having some entertainment. Thank you all very much from the bottom of our hearts, and you'll see the construction work happening very soon. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki!
Jai.
Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir Ki! Shri Shri Radha Ballabha Mandir Ki!
Jai.
Nitya Go Premanande! Haribo!
Haribo.
Yes, Arjun Saka Prabhu, yes.
Sari Radha Vijajal! Jadendriya Taika! Jiva Felavisaya Sagore! Tamaji Jivayate! Lobamoy Sadumati! Taki Jeta Kotina Samsare! Krishna Boladoya Moy! Konivala Jiva Joy! Saprasad Anandilo Boy! Sayanamrita Pao! Radha Krishna Gunagao! Premeda Ko Shri Chaitanya Nitai! Mahaprasadam Ke!
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare